niggas cause they poison, but I love my section. You grew some dreads to please a bitch, but you won't keep a weapon. I lost my 3, was hard to think, but I'ma keep on stepping. I bumped my head and took some losses, hope it teach a lesson. I hate these niggas cause they poison, but I love my section. You grew some dreads to please a bitch, but you won't keep a weapon. I lost my 3, was hard to think, but I'ma keep on stepping. I bumped my head and took some losses, hope it teach a lesson. Look, I'm ready for the drama. Presidential, no Obama. Black on black to the rims, like my car come from Wakanda. I went anemic on these niggas. That's my club when I'm in Marcus. Blue 30 like a nigga. I just hear these niggas talking. Booked 2 different flights. I got visions of me golfing. Build a house for the kids. Niggas trying to see a coffin. I just left LAX. I got fans up in Austin. Gotta travel around the world. Staying busy, get exhausted. Million hours on the block. Still ain't see nobody walk it. Make my soul call a river, cause my heart can never talk it. I lost sleep pulling triggers. Couple nights I was tossing. It ain't fun being a killer. I protect myself with caution. It's just niggas killing niggas. Then they load it up like content. I just rather get some money. Dark green like Boston. Robbing niggas for they jury. Used to sell it at the Slauson. 4,000 Rick Owens. Lil nigga, I be bossing. I hate these niggas cause they poison, but I love my section.
What's the good old big deal with the good old people, man? It's your boy, Young Ant Hefe. Don't care about number what the check say. Make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe because it don't cost you nothing to press that button. And if you ring that notification bell, I'm going to bring you mail. What's the good old big deal with the good old people? It's Hot Topics with your boy, Young Ant Hefe. And I'm here to deliver you another one like the other one. The recipient of Hot Topic is GB from Miller Gangsta Bloods by way of Who's Who. So, y'all know what's cracking with Who's Who's. Y'all see what they got going on by way of exposing people that's have Zark behavior and or not handling their business. So, most of the time, you know, Baby B Braves from Diva Lanes is your co-host. A lot of times GB just playing the backfield, you know what I'm saying, giving ad-libs here and there. And then sometimes, you know, he'll come off and shoot his little stories and shoot little situations that he have been in. However, over the time that GB have been speaking, a lot of people have been feeling like, oh, who is this? What he got going on? Is he anybody? And stuff like that, you feel me? So, Respectable Rants, you know, that's one of YouTube pages, you know, I get info from because as I've laid out many of times, they be accurate. You know, they do their homework, they do the correct digging that need to be done, and the digging that I'm not going to do. So, you know, I check into their content from time to time, and I see that they got this little story right here on GB. So we definitely got to get into this story and see what's going on with GB, man. See if GB one of them top-ranked, top shotters, you know what I'm saying? See if GB ain't just one of those playing the backfield that y'all been trying to disrespect, saying he ain't nobody, you know what I'm saying? You know, we ain't heard Munchie, not to throw any flames on the fire, hop out there, you know what I'm saying, say things, you know what I'm saying? You know, GB been in, thawed in a little beef with Munchie by way of speaking on a situation that happened between some Diva Lane members and some Inglewood family members and stuff like that, and it seemed like nothing could be agreed upon that was said, and or the story wasn't said correctly and things was left out and stuff like that. But however, I don't want to hold you guys any longer. We about to get into this content and see what they talking about. GB from Who's Who.
Who is Blood back there disrespecting me? I don't even know Blood.
Who you talking about?
Whoever your celly is, Blood talking about.
And let y'all know how really dangerous it really get with your boy and this issue and this all this. I ain't running from nothing. I get some all issues. I'm front line and front row ever since I came out the womb.
Where you from?
Nigga, I'm from Miller's, nigga. They call me GB from Miller Gangsta. 120th
Okay,
Street,
and you.
I'm stepping on everything that you can't step on. You fraternizing with the niggas that I be stepping on. I've been stick slip, but nigga know me in the streets. Man,
In today's video, we're gonna talk about GB from the Who's Who's on YouTube, aka Baby B Bray's cellmate. We're gonna talk about everything from his early life, his cases, to how he lost his little brother while he was incarcerated. Y'all know this is Respectable Rants, so this is gonna be the most detailed video about him. Now let's get into it. GB, whose real name is Terrell Jones, would be 34 years old right now, and he would be from the Miller Gangsta Bloods. Miller Gangsta Bloods would be located on the east side of Los Angeles, right in between Watts and Compton. But now let's dive into his early life. GB would join at the age of 13, and he would be in and out of YA damn near his whole childhood. GB would also go by the nickname King Miller. But now we're gonna dive into his court cases. We're gonna start off with his first adult case, which he would catch at the age of 18. He would be arrested on June 6th of 2009 on 6 separate counts. Count 1 being taking a vehicle without consent. Count 2 being possessing stolen vehicle. Count 3 would be carrying a loaded firearm. And count 4 and 5 would be 2 counts of carrying a concealed weapon within a vehicle, with the last count being driving without a license. But on June 23rd of 2009, counts 2 through 6 would be dismissed due to a plea negotiation. But count 1, which would be taking a vehicle without consent, he would plead guilty to. He got 36 months of probation, but 5 months later, on November 23rd of 2009, it was revoked, and he got 16 months in state prison. He was then released in 2011, and he would stay out of trouble for the next 3 years. But unfortunately, on January 13th of 2014, he arrested on 4 new counts. This time he was arrested for 2 counts of possessing a bad check, 1 count of trying to pass a fake check, and 1 count of trying to pass a completed check that wasn't his. He would then have to sit with no bail, but on April 22nd of 2014, just 4 months later, he would go to court and have counts 2 through 4 dismissed. But they didn't dismiss count 1, so he would still have to sit in the county jail fighting it. But after sitting for a whole year, on January 12th of 2015, he would take a plea deal, and they would sentence him to 365 days. But since he already did 365 days while fighting this case, so it was counted as time served, and he was released on January 12th of 2015.
Alright, so, so this basically gave us a little homework, you know what I'm saying, a brief description of GB, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people be trying to cast GP in the shadows of Brays, you know what I'm saying? But it just seemed like, GB, I don't know him, you know what I'm saying? I spoke with him before. To me, it just seemed like GB, you know what I'm saying, just, play the backfield, you know what I'm saying? He kind of pretty much laid back, but he's a part of the who's, and at times when he want to tell his little stories, or get his little off, he hop on there. But, the main character and main host is Brays. But what I'd like to say, GB got the background that a lot of us in this gang lifestyle have. As you see, and as is detailed by Respectable Rants, he say that GB, was in and out of jail, incarceration through juvenile hall in YA. Now, I don't know what years he was in there, but I miss GB. I am older than GB, but only by a few years. We are in that same, generation in our space, because from what Respectable Rants say and the homework he is doing, GB started gangbanging at a young age. And GB started gangbanging 12 and 13. He's 34 right now. I don't know if he's going to be 35 this year or not. But, I definitely missed him. Miller's, that's like a small, that's like a small area, a small hood. And I don't say that with no disrespect, but it's like a small hood. And I say that because you would have, let's just say, bigger hoods like a Bonnie Hanna's or just like a Pyru. You're going to run into a lot of those members going through jail, to where these, like a smaller hood, let's just even say, like for a smaller crib hood, like a kitchen crib, you're going to remember all the members that you ran into and or who you versus who you didn't run into if you didn't run into them at all. Like, you can ask a lot of people going through those juvenile halls, a lot of them small hoods you didn't run into, or if you did run into somebody from a smaller hood, you're going to remember that person's name, because usually they the person that's doing all the work, or the person that's in jail for this hood, or just for little stuff, trying to, keep the hood name going and put that monotone and that ring out there for the set. So, just like GB got, most of anybody that was gangbanging in the street background, he was back and forth in jail, all the way up to his adulthood, you know what I'm saying? So y'all see right there, they say he was back and forth, did something with some checks, you know what I'm saying? Got caught up for that, ended up going to jail, ended up bouncing back out, you know what I'm saying? So he ended up bouncing back out, you know what I'm saying, from this little check thing. I think he did like a year, and then this is leading up to him catching a case for what he's in there for right now. You know what I'm saying? Now, I remember when I was going through the halls, like they most noticeably homie was Baby No Good. You know what I'm saying? Kenneth, Baby No Good, used to be from A-Tray Gangsters. You know what I'm saying? Me, him, and one of my other homies all turned to A-Tray around the same time. Baby No Mama didn't want Baby No Good to gang bang, so she sent him over where his daddy was at. And I guess his daddy stayed over there in the Miller Gangsta Bloods / Anthony's hood. And Kenneth ended up turning Miller Gangsta Bloods and ended up being one of their boys. And he also himself ended up going down for a hot one, you know what I'm saying, and catching 40 years of life, you know what I'm saying, when we was teenagers, man. You know what I'm saying? So they had definitely stole Baby No Good from us, you know what I'm saying, on everything. But let's get back into respectable rent. So you already know it's the halfway and the half effect. We gonna commentate.
Ian Alexander, who was 23 years old, was murdered at 6 o'clock at night on December 29th of 2015. He would be standing outside a complex on the 900 block of East 120th Street in Green Meadows. That's when two people walked up to him and opened fire, just hitting him, and he was pronounced dead the next day. This case would go cold for 4 months, but on April 28th of 2016, a 25-year-old man was arrested for it, named Terrell Jones, who would be GB. And according to the LAPD, witness statements and video surveillance is what helped them make the arrest. GB was booked on April 28th of 2016 for 1 count of murder and 1 count of possession of a firearm. But don't forget right here, they said 2 people walked up and opened fire, and they have surveillance and witnesses. But GB doesn't have a co-defendant on this case. He was the only one arrested for this case, and he kept it solid. He would then go to court 3 months later on July 27th of 2016, where he was held to answer. He would then go back and forth to court for the next few months. But unfortunately, on March 3rd of 2017, he would be found guilty on all charges. And as you can see, they would add 1 more count of possession of a firearm by a felon. They would give him 75 years to life for the murder, where he's parole eligible. And for counts 2 and 3, which is possession of a firearm by a felon, he would get 3 years for one and 8 months for the other. He would be sentenced on July 27th of 2017, where he's eligible for parole in April of 2051. But unfortunately, 4 years into his sentence, his little brother would be murdered during a shootout with the enemies. But this would be his little brother right here, and some of you may recognize him as Earl Schwavy. And for those of you that don't, he was an up-and-coming rapper who would have been famous right now. He worked alongside people like A$AP Yams, the founder of the A$AP Mob, A$AP Rocky's crew, and he would be good friends with Wally the Sensei, who, as you can see right here, he would be in his video. That would be him right there to the left, next to the speaker. His real name would be Earl Hatton, and he would be 26 years old at the time of his murder. He would be killed on January 9th of 2022. Witnesses at a party told police that Earl Schwavy and his crew pulled up to the party, and one person inside of Earl Schwavy's car fired a shot at them. That's when people inside of the party fired back, hitting Earl Schwavy. They believe it was gang-related, but Earl Schwavy got hit in the back, and the bullet hit his heart. And he was the driver, so it caused him to crash the vehicle. Even Vince Staples would post about him. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. Subscribe, comment.
So y'all see, Respectable Ranter did a background check on GB for Miller Gangsta Bloods, and it's safe to say that GB is not a scrub. He's prone to violence. You know what I'm saying? He has the background of any active member. He has the same background as any active member from a hood that's out in the streets being active. Been in and out of jail, juvenile hall. They said YA. And as you see, he's right there in the state pen. So I don't know how long he got out after this check thing. They said, I don't know if he was out 4 months and then caught that hot one, and 4 months later was caught up on that hot one. It's an ugly game out here. Don't know how he was caught up on the hot one. Don't know if he even did the hot one. But however they caught up to him, don't know if it was a DNA, don't know if it was a camera, don't know if it was people snitching. You know, I wish Respectable Ranch would have dug into that as far as his case his case notes and things like that to see if he had anybody telling on him. Now, what they did, in fact, state and show is that if this is allegedly the person that did this, he had a co-defendant. But in all of everything, never said nothing about the co-defendant. That's like I'm saying. Although he's doing time for this, it's still allegedly. He can still get an appeal at any time. This can be turned over. It have been many times that people have been found guilty, you know what I'm saying, for crimes that they did not commit. I don't know what he did. I'm not the judge. I'm not the jury. I'm just covering this situation because I would like to know too, like I said, from what I observe and see from him, for the most part, he's quiet. Sometimes he do insert himself in things as if, you know, he's playing Bray's side, you know what I'm saying? And then y'all know occasionally he give his little stories and things he's been through. You know, we can see as of late, he was on Chef Boy saying that Chef Boy was from A-Tray Gangsters and that Chef Boy wasn't a real one from over there where he was from. He even went as far as saying as times that he hung with Chef Boy, he was in a car with Chef Boy and Chef Boy was scared to greet his homies. You know what I'm saying? To where he was telling Chef Boy like, man, hey, let's hop out. I'm with you. If your homies on that, I'm a wreck with you because you with me. And, you know, Chef Boy just wasn't trying to visit that. I don't know. It's all alleged. I wasn't there. I wasn't in the car that day. These are his stories. You know, he has stories of Bray's homie in a situation, you know, where somebody getting marked out. That created a whole big controversy. That started the initial beef of Bray's and B Munchie, Bray's and Munchie B as well. But yeah, man, it's an ugly game out here. So, you know, what you can say, if he is the one that did the unaliving, you know, he kept it solid. You know what I'm saying? He been down 10 years, you know what I'm saying? No co-defendant, and the unaliving and murder that he's down on had 2 people on it. The other dude is scotch-free. And if whoever did it out there, because like I said, GB ain't got to be the person to do it. He could just be serving a crime. But whoever it is that know they was there and know they did it, man, that know this man sitting in jail for there, I hope you keeping it gangster. I hope you looking out for this man. I'm hoping you make sure this dude books fed. You know, his AKA is King Miller. If he calling himself King Miller, he got to be one of those guys. You know, you can't just be walking around talking about you King Trey, you King Tut, you all these people, you Prince this. If you not elite and you ain't been in that field and you ain't one of them guys. So, again, I think it's safe to say, you know, what he's been saying, the name, you know what I'm saying, the accolades, you know what I'm saying, he's claiming, to a degree speaks for itself. With that being said, we're going to conclude it there. It's your boy, Young and Hefe. Don't care about number what the check say. Hold on. As well, R.I.P. to his brother. So, he as well had a brother that was rapping by the way of some Swayze, you know what I'm saying? But it looked like he was unalived, and they're saying that was due to a gang rival shooting. Allegedly, the car that GB brother was in fired a shot on a party, and the people from the party ended up shooting back at the vehicle that he was in. He was struck in the back. Him being struck in the back led to that bullet traveling and piercing his heart. Now he's resting in peace, and I'm pretty sure that was more turmoil for GB, more turmoil for the family, being that he's in jail and stuff like that. But he's still on the main line. You know, he's still stepping. You know, he's still strong. You know what I'm saying? He's still, you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, that's all that's matter. You know what I'm saying? That he's standing on business. Hopefully he in that law library. Hopefully he can get an appeal. Hopefully he's in the law library, and hopefully he can get an appeal. And on this case that he's on, as I said, it looked like he been down for 10 years already. With that being said, make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe, because it don't cost you nothing to press that button. And if you ring that notification bell, I'm going to bring you mail.
I'm trying to tell you.
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 I'm trying to tell you.